Hello and welcome to another episode of the Freedom Stein Laboratory. I was camping over the weekend. It was a long weekend, 4 days, and I was a little bit disconnected, but I was a little connected as well, but mostly disconnected. And I come back and find out that Marjorie Taylor Greene is quitting. Trump is accusing some Democrats of sedition, and along with that, saying this is how we handle that. And people might, supposed to be unalived for this kind of behavior. And Candace Owens, the French are trying to kill her. So that's what we're going to be talking about. I mean, nothing major happened, nothing to worry about. No big deal, no big news, nothing like that. All right. Well, let's start off with the really big one, which would be Candace Owens. I think was it Saturday morning? I woke up and I went in and I looked at X on my phone, and I always like to see what Candace is up to. And I see that she's got this post where she's talking about these death threats that she's had. And I'm looking at the time and going, wow, she posted this like at 12:30 in the morning, like in the middle of the night. She's posting this, which I was like, well, that's kind of weird. And I am pretty sure it was on Saturday because it would have been after she'd had her last episode. So let's go in and look at what she had to say here because obviously it's pretty important. Let me hang on one second. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still trying to figure out all of this stuff. There we go. So I want to share this part. Let me bounce over here. All right, there we go. I don't really need any sound for this one. So here we have Candace saying, let me put on my old lady glasses. 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high ranking employee of the French government after determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, the Macrons, obviously. I've deemed the information they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happens. In short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you read that correctly. More specifically, that the green light was given to a small team in National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. I'm told there is one Israeli that is on this assassination squad, and the plans were formalized. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, this person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with multi-state involvement. Journalist Xavier Boussard's life is also at risk. This is deadly serious. The head of state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional units to carry this out. I ask that every person retweet and share this. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted since this source claims our leaders are aware, but I have more specific information which is definitively verifiable should they care to reach out to me. To the brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie's public execution to risk their own life, may God bless you, truly. So first you read this and you're like, I don't know, is this for real? But she's posted some other stuff now on the back of this where she's like, well, first of all, you got the village crazy lady. She Googled French secret intelligence service assassinations, and the results are freaking wild. So this is something that they definitely do. It's amazing how we went from it's this little country to, I don't know if it's something within the American government, and now it's the French that we're looking at here. She's also saying the L'Elysées Palace, and I don't speak French, nor do I care to, so I don't care if I said it wrong. There won't be any kind of an official response because she said, what I've shared is true and I have evidence to support my claim. People are always asking for the receipts from Candace. And so far, it always seems like she's got them. She may not provide them like right away, but it seems like she's always got something. And this is like really something to put out there to, if you're just doing it for attention. It's just, I don't think that somebody just puts this out there because I want attention, especially since she did it in the middle of the night. She's gone on to say, I've informed people in the federal government and the White House of the France and Israeli assassination plot, and I'm willing to provide full details as well as the name of the assassins. So she must have all of this, and international accounts in France and Canada through which money was exchanged. Beyond that, I've shared more information with the public regarding the Brigitte story I was investigating at the time of Charlie's assassination, and it's all available on my Instagram stories. Thank you for reaching out and praying for my family. Now, obviously, I went out and that day I retweeted this and I put it up on Facebook. There there seems to be this narrative out there. Let me see if I can make this a little bit darker so I don't look so white in the face there. Um there's this narrative going out there, and it's been going on now for weeks, that Candace is crazy, but they're being even more specific now, saying that, well, she has the postpartum psychosis. She had 4 kids back to back, and she's lost her mind. And it's always funny how when women are strong and they come out and they are speaking in truth, that the immediate reaction is this is an unhinged woman. So this is what Candace is. She's unhinged. And then if they're not thinking that she's psychotic, it's that she's doing it for the clicks and the money. Okay, so first of all, Candace has the number one, or did for a while, and she's still way up there, one of the number one podcasts in the world. She doesn't need to do this for clicks. She already was getting plenty of attention. The whole Charlie Kirk thing is actually probably harmed her more than it's helped her. And frankly, when you have the number one podcast in the world, you're making a ton of money. The woman has millions. I'm sure of it. And even if she doesn't have millions, her husband, isn't he heir to a billionaire fortune? I think his dad's a billionaire. So there's a lot of money around her. She doesn't need the little super chats that she's getting on YouTube, okay? So she's not doing this for that. I don't think she's doing it for the attention. I think she legit has stuff. Now, she's not right on everything, and she does come out and correct herself, but I don't think she's psychotic. And you're not going to go around accusing the French government, which is already threatening to sue you, with wanting to have you offed. So I just don't think that this is something that she's just putting it out there because she's lost her ever living mind. When you're over the target, that's when the attacks come. If they weren't worried about what she was doing, they would be ignoring her. They wouldn't be going after her in this way. And if she's got names and money transactions and all kinds of good stuff, I look forward to hearing more about that. I don't know when her show is today or if she's already doing it. It's 5:30 Eastern time where I'm at here in Florida. But I'm still on Candace's side. And I feel like after listening to her shows last week, that she's kind of wrapping this up. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, she's got this investigative narrative where there's no ending and you could just keep going and going and going and it just never ends. And it's all for her benefit because we're just going to keep coming back and eating at the table. I kind of feel like she was pretty definitive last week with who she thinks had Charlie Kirk unalived. And she definitely, it's going to be part of this stuff with the French and the Israelis. And I have no doubt that she definitely was pointing her fingers at our federal government. And even if they weren't involved with the before, definitely the after. And it is amazing how many people are just going with the narrative. At least that's what I said to myself today. I looked in the mirror and I said, it is amazing how many people are going with this narrative that they've given. And yep, it was Tyler Robinson and we're all good and just move along and we'll wait for the trial. And hopefully they put the cameras in there so that we can see something. I do hope they put the cameras in the courtroom because at this point, I'm not sure if Tyler Robinson is actually a real human being. We haven't really seen him. And with AI and stuff, I don't know that I trust anything anymore that I see. So we have no video. Candace pointed this out. We have no video of him turning himself in. Oh, that's lost somewhere. Really? I would think that that would be important for the trial. And really, any of the video that Candace has asked to be released and other people who are on YouTube that are investigating this, asking for the release of this stuff. And, oh, well, they can't do that. It'll harm the case. No, it won't. If you have a rock solid case, putting that out to the world does not harm your case at all. As a matter of fact, I would think it would make the person, if they're guilty, go, maybe I should go for a plea because I can't beat this. So I don't know why they won't put this stuff out there. But what was the other point I wanted to make about something that she had said last week? was something along the lines of um, just that she is positive that our government is somehow involved here. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Um, when you get older, these things float away from you. But anyway, my point was COVID-19. We saw how people reacted under that. People that you knew, people that you loved, your friends, your family, they all lost their minds, right? And they just believed the narrative. They just went with the orders. They just did what they were told. And those of us who I feel like are awake and have been awake, I don't know if it's a Holy Spirit thing that has our eyes open, that we don't have the scales over our eyes. But when these narratives come out, we're just not like, oh, okay, I'll just move along. If something stinks, we want to go find out why it stinks. That's just the way we are. And I'm glad, for one, that Candace is treating this thing like a dog with a bone, because that's what needs to be done for us to get to the bottom of this. And I feel like she's pretty darn close to it. All right, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I've spoken about her a couple times now. What a shocker. Yeah, when I first saw this posted, I think it might have been like on Facebook or something, and it was within a few minutes of her doing it. And I went, oh, this is one of those fake stories, right? It's got to be a fake story. There's no way Marjorie Taylor Greene is not only not going to run again for her congressional seat, but she's not going to quit before her term's even over. There's no way. Wow. I guess I was wrong, wasn't I? I mean, to say that I'm disappointed is putting it lightly. I copied and pasted her speech here. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Now, I understand why she has these feelings, because I think a lot of us, I was with the Tea Party movement when it got started. It has been incredibly frustrating for us to watch the people that we have elected not do what we want them to do, what they promised they were going to do. I mean, President Trump at this point is kind of faltering too. I don't know if she's doing this out of frustration, if she really is just done with it all and tired of wasting her time. Let me just say, if she's doing this because she's getting a gig somewhere like on MS Now or some other cable news outlet, or she's going to start her own show, or she's going to be on The View, I will be pissed, because then it's like, who the hell really is for us out here? Because I thought she was for us. And in this statement that she gave, she clearly, sounds like she's for the people. The first thing that she put here is, I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C. and never fit in. She was always for the common person. And she talks about this political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle. This is why we all think, like, I wasn't going to vote Democrat or Republican when Trump ran in 2016, because I was just done with both parties. But when he came down the golden escalator, I went, he's a businessman. We've never had a businessman before, at least not in recent time, not in my lifetime. This would be something different. He's not a politician who, this is just what he always does. So I was excited to have something different. And unfortunately, I don't know. I guess you get in there for a while. But I decided I'll go ahead and vote Republican again, because I'll give it another chance. But it is just amazing. I went around with Marco Rubio during the Tea Party movement, and I helped to get him elected to the Senate. And then I watched him completely change when he got in there. They get to these people, and you have not only these lobbyists, which is basically bribing, but then you have these foreign governments that come in. As Marjorie is pointing out here, Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interests. We're like America first, and a lot of people are starting to say, like, I think Matt Walsh is even saying this, America only. Now, I don't mind if we help out other countries that need help. I don't mind sending foreign aid and things like that, but we got to take care of home first. And it can't be to our detriment. It can't be us going further into debt to help somebody else out. It doesn't make any sense if you owe, $20,000 in credit card bills. And then your neighbor's like, I can't buy groceries. And you're like, oh, I'll just put it on my credit card for you. That makes no sense. And that's kind of what America's been doing. She talks about the American dollar being in decline. The American family can no longer survive on one income. There's no way, unless the one partner in that marriage is making a substantial amount of money. But when you're talking about the common American man and woman, pretty much everybody's got to work or you're not going to get by. And she makes the same point that Charlie Kirk would make and that a lot of other people are making. And this is why you have a lot of disenfranchised young men, but also young women. There's like no hope. It's like you can't even begin to get ahead. You get out of college where they tell you got to go, and you've got so much debt that you basically are buying a home with your college debt. And you're never going to be rid of it. You can't get rid of it with bankruptcy or anything like that. And most of the young people who've spent all this, let's say you get out of college and you got $120,000 in loans, and then you have this degree. Maybe it's even just a bachelor's degree, not even a master's degree. But a lot of young people can't even get a job in what they are degreed in. So it's like a total waste of your time. This is why getting into a trade is the best thing you can do for yourself. I didn't finish college. I did a year and a half, and I have not looked back, and I haven't had any issues with, I've got a really nice house here, and I've had no credit card debt for almost 20 years. So you can do it without a college degree. And so not only do they have all of this debt, but then if you even want to get into a home, even just a basic starter home in a lot of places, you're looking at over $300,000 or more. Most young people, there's just no hope for you to have that part of the American dream. And then a lot of them are giving up on even dating each other and starting a family. So, I mean, I understand the frustration of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Obviously, she's been in this fight with the president. I don't know if that's part of it. I don't know if she's been threatened. Maybe she's been threatened and she's like, you know what? This is not worth dying for. Because it's like I'm stuck in quicksand and I just, somebody's giving me a stick. I'm going to pull myself out. I'm not going to stay in the quicksand. But it's just another one of those things that black pills me and is so disheartening because we finally had somebody who was a champion that we could trust. Most of the time, I wasn't real happy with her snuggling up to Kevin McCarthy for a while there, and now she's not going to be there. And it's an incredible loss. Okay, the other thing that we had apparently over the weekend is we have these Democrats who decided to make this little video. And it looks to me like it's sedition. And that is exactly what the president is calling it. And I mean, that's what I would call it.
Us, you all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
It was posted by 6 Democratic lawmakers.
Okay, so there they are saying you can refuse illegal orders, which is true. If you are in the military and you're given an illegal order, you can refuse it. Let's say that the president loses his mind and tells you to fire on American citizens. You can say, no, I'm not going to shoot on my fellow citizens. I don't know what these people are talking about, though. But what are you thinking making this video? I mean, these are the same people who came out after January 6th and were like, look at the insurrection, what they're doing over there. And then you're going to come out and make a video telling our soldiers to be seditious. And there is a punishment for that. And it's a pretty hefty punishment. And the president literally came out and said, the punishment for sedition is... And he's walked that back since. But I mean, that is, I just have to ask, like, where did tarring and feathering go? Can we at least get back to that? We don't have to do things like really drastically, but tarring and feathering, I think that would fix any kind of seditious thinking. Anyway, I think all of these senators and congresspeople that joined in on this video need to be sanctioned in some way, censured in some way, whatever they're going to do. I know the Pentagon, I saw a report not too long ago that Mark Kelly is on their list, that they're looking into him. So I hope that that's what they're going to do here and tamp that down, because I mean, I'm trying to figure out what they're even referencing. Because our military isn't being asked to do anything. I guess they might be talking to ICE agents and stop doing your job. Because I mean, it is their job to round up criminals and ship them back out of the country. And all illegal aliens are criminals. I get so tired of people saying, well, just go after the criminals. Okay, well, if you've broken our law and come into our country, you're a criminal. So it's all of them. All of them need to be rounded up. If we have to do it like in increments, then yes, I want to go after the big time criminals who are raping and pillaging and murdering and all of those kinds of things. Let's get them out of here first. But they all need to go. You are all here illegally. And there's no country in the world that would be like, it's okay, you could just stay here. Try to be an American and do this in some other country. And they'd be like, yeah, no, you got to go back to America. And I just love how these countries are like, you can't send our citizens back to us. Yes, we can. So what do you guys think? Where are you at with the Candace thing? I think she's pretty much wrapping it up. And, I think this is a multi-military. It's not just American. I believe we've got several intelligence agencies from different countries and all kinds of things going on here. My question is, how long was this planned? Because the UVU event was not planned for a long period of time. So it seems like this had to be put together really quickly, but they had to be planning to do it. It just wasn't like the date and location hadn't been chosen. But this was something I'm sure that they had been planning for quite some time, which then makes me think, I don't know that it's necessarily that he was turning on Israel, because that was more of a newer thing. So honestly, I don't know the motive here still. I'm still in the dark with that. But I'd love to know what you guys have to say about that. And thank you so much for joining me here on the Freedom Stein Laboratory. And if you're liking what you're hearing, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Let me know what else you'd like to talk about.